What's up guys, welcome back to the channel, the e-bike builder channel. In this video we're going to go for a quick e-bike ride on the Bafang G900 750 watt rear hub motor. We got a Flipski 75100 Pro V2 controller on the Mongoose Ledge X2 bike. This is the bike we're riding today. I got a fresh pair of Crocs on. We're going to ride around here at Valley View. It rained out the other day pretty significantly, so the trails have been closed. And all the mountain bike trails are closed right now, but this one, it says it's open on TrailBot. So we're gonna go here. And if it's swampy, we'll bail out. We'll just see how it is. There's a lot of green stuff down here in the swamp area of the marsh. So in this video we're also going to talk about the next e-bike build that I would like to do. Let's go back to the beginning here. So I want to do a new e-bike build, and it's going to be a hardtail mountain bike. Not for doing anything crazy, but I would like it to have a torque sensor. And I think I'm gonna go with a mid-drive for this build, because I've been doing a hub motor for most of this year so far, so I gotta switch it up and do a mid-drive now. So that's kind of the plan, and I also want it to be like trail legal in terms of the motor specifications. So that means that I want the motor to be like a 750 watt motor. In the US, most parts of the US, that's kind of like the rules. 750 watts is kind of like the legal nominal power limit for a motor. So if you get so there's motors that you can get like this one that I'm using right now, 750 watt hub motor, and doesn't quite have the torque and the hill climbing ability of a mid-drive, but you can pedal along and make it happen. So for this next build, it's going to be a mid-drive for sure. And so there's a few options for DIY mid-drive e-bikes. Well, let's take the shortcut in here. So there's a few motor options. I think right now like the premier option is probably the CYC Photon. Oh, so that's a mid-drive motor conversion kit from CYC. It's on the Bonnell 775 AM, their all-mountain version of their 775 e-bike. And I think that's probably the most popular like turnkey e-bike that has the Photon right now. But the Photon, I've heard it's nice, but it's also an expensive motor. And the CYC, they're kind of like selling the whole thing as like a platform where you buy the battery and then you use their controller. And I don't know, for the Photon, I looked at it the other day, and just for the motor, the Photon, it's like $950 or something. I think it might have even been on sale. I don't know. I think the current price is $950 for a CYC Photon just for the motor. So I said, okay, well that's a little bit expensive. Like, what else is there? Here's the wall ride. Feeling very confident with a Magic Mary tire up front. I think the trails are sufficiently dried out. So I was thinking, okay, CYC Photon, there's an option, there's an idea, but what else is there? Because there's been people telling me about these other mid-drive motors that, like there's a 2.7 and there's Tongxiang. So those are two Chinese companies, 2.7 and Tongxiang. So there's like a 2.7 and they have a mid-drive. I think it's called the DM something or other. DM01, I think it's like 1,000 watt mid-drive. I'm sure they have a 750 watt one as well. And then there's a Tongxiang. I think there's some differences between them, but I think like what I want basically is like a BBS02, like a 750 watt mid-drive. But I don't want a BBS02 because the cadence sensing, I don't like that. Like I want a torque sensor. And at one point, Bafang was gonna put a torque sensor, on the BBS HD. But then they like abandoned that project and it never happened, and Bafang is apparently not gonna be doing any kind of like torque sensing, do-it-yourself bottom bracket style mid-drives, apparently. Bafang has bigger fish to fry, so some smaller companies have stepped in with kind of like clones of the BBS02. This is where I don't want to get eaten by a bear. So there's the 2.7 DM01, and then there's a Tongxiang TSDZ8 or something. Tongxiang TSDZ8 750 watt mid-drive. I've been looking at that one. It seems like the difference, and I kind of started looking at the Tongxiang TSDZ8 because that one, it's like a clone of the BBS02, and it's about the same price as a BBS02. You can get them on AliExpress. You can get the kit on AliExpress with like the AliExpress deals and stuff, so it's quite cheap compared to buying it from like a reseller. And it seems like you can get some of the chain rings and stuff for the DM or for the TSDZ8. You can get those chain rings. Ooh, moisture. You can get the chain rings on AliExpress. So I was kind of looking at the Tongxiang TSDZ8 as man, it was wet back there. I'm looking at the Tongxiang TSDZ8 mid-drive motor, 750 watts, torque sensing. It looks like the Bafang BBS02, except inside of it, the rotor is an IPM, internal permanent magnet rotor. So it's kind of like the TSDZ8, it's kind of like a BBS02 with a BBS HD style rotor, so the magnets on the rotor inside of the TSDZ8, they're like inside of metal on the rotor spinning around. Whereas like on the BBS02, that rotor sucked and the magnets were like glued onto it on the outside of it. So I feel like the TSDZ8 would be less, it would probably perform more like the BBS HD, like if you're running it harder, like the magnets wouldn't just like go overheat and the adhesive would fail and like the magnets would just fly off the rotor like the BBS02 did on 72 volts when I tried that. But I don't even think I'm going to put it on high voltage or anything like that. Like because a lot of times when you use an aftermarket controller, it's not waterproof, like a flip ski like I have on this. Like I just went through a puddle there and I was a little bit concerned. But unless it's like really raining, I'm usually okay. But yeah, like if you just buy the one of these mid drives and use the stock controller, like it's fairly waterproof and blast proof. Like I've rode my BBS HD in the rain before, like pouring rain. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try some different mid drives because I wanna build mountain bikes. And the thing I don't like about the BBS HD is it reduces the ground clearance so much, and it like hangs off the bottom of the bike. And it's kind of hard to fit those style mid-drive motors onto full suspension mountain bikes. So I've never done that before. Like I've always used a hardtail with those mid-drive kits. And I think I'm gonna use a hardtail with the TSDZ8 as well, because I just got into bikes a few years ago. Like I rode bikes when I was a kid, but like I've never purchased a bike that was thousands of dollars in my life. Other than my first e-bike was like $1,500. But I mean, if you want to buy a mountain bike, like an e-mountain bike, it's like thousands of dollars to get a nice one. You know, like they haven't really like, China hasn't really gone after like the e-mountain bikes yet, really, I don't think. And neither like I think it's still very, like, the market's still very young in e-mountain bikes compared to like just e-bikes in general. There's not really like a whole lot of like Chinese e-mountain bikes. You know, with like torque sensor mid drives that, and the ones that I think the cheapest ones that you can get are probably like $2,000. So I don't know. It's kind of tricky to get into e-mountain biking with a do-it-yourself setup, just because it's like modern mountain bikes don't really work ideally for strapping on a big bottom bracket motor. And there's a lot of fussing around with strapping those things onto bikes. Like, I was kind of sick of it. I haven't used the BBS HD or the BBS 02 at all this year, just because it always ends up being a lot of like mechanical fussing around and like, yeah. But I think I want to mess around with the TSDZ8 and try that out and see. Oh, muddy. See how that is. Perhaps. I wonder what the stream looks like over here. I wonder if the GoPro is even still going. Oh, we just went in a mud pit. I see some other fresh tracks out here, so I'm not the only intrepid mountain biker. Oh, this trail is kind of like the backup trail. Oh, for when the other trails are closed due to rain. Oh. What's up, guys? Ooh, a little mucky back here. Yeah. Is it advisable to continue on? Are you guys going?
Oh yeah, it's a great pit. It's a great trail.
Yeah, not too wet.
Not really. There's a couple mucky spots.
Yeah.
But it's only here and there.
Yeah, right on. I usually come here like when all the other trails are still like closed from rain and stuff.
Yeah.
It's usually not too bad.
Do you know any other trails around here?
I usually go to either, there's one in kind of like over towards Hudson, Willow River State Park. That's a pretty good one. That's probably the closest one, Willow River. And then over in River Falls, there's Whitetail Ridge. That's a good one. That's kind of like a hidden gem. I go there a lot, River Falls. It's kind of tricky to find it, but it's kind of like hidden back in like the corner of like a business park by like this baby, like a daycare, like baby care kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that one's really fun. And I like how it's kind of like a big loop. And that there's a lot of different trails that you can choose from at Whitetail, but
Is that electric?
yeah. Yeah.
How fast does it go?
It can go like 30,
30.
30-ish. Not really off-road. It's not very torquey. It's like it's one of the hub motors in the wheel.
Yeah.
But it can get around pretty well. I like the little dog carrier.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do something like that. Hello. I'm just gonna sneak by you guys. Well, hey, enjoy this beautiful day. Wow, that stick could poke an eye out. Yeah, it's not too bad out here. Some mud right here. Oh! Just about lost it. Lighting is really crazy in here right now. There's water flowing from the tubes. Oh. Well, there's a new skinny. Working on a new feature back there? Wow. Oh. Alright guys, well, I don't know when the GoPro battery went dead or when the GoPro overheated or whatever happened, but here we are. We're over by the correctional facility where the hoodlies go. Whoa, to be corrected. My bike feels like it's... What's up, bubs? We're back. We're on 60 volts. Let's see here. We're on 60 volts. We're gonna keep the battery current at like 22. That's good. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna ride this thing home on 60 volts. It's already at 85C. And I guess we'll see if how much it overheats. We're at 66.9 volts. Here we go. Oh. Man, this thing's annoying. Where did that little thing go here? I don't know whatever happened to that. I don't know. I don't think I ever got up that hill that fast on the BBS02.